Because hey everybody, welcome. It is Monday. I'm Mia Voss. That is Joel McDonald. What are you doing, sir?
I am hanging out after a nice relaxing weekend.
Mine was so not relaxing I can't even pronounce my last name right. It was I just flew in. Boy, my arms are tired from New York. We'll talk a little bit about that trip. But today we're going to talk about the 10 unknown features on free travel sites here in the JGOOT Village, where we teach you to travel for pennies on the dollar like a boss.
Yeah, right? I'm really excited about this one because this is like literally anyone can do this. And some of these are known sites. Some of these people won't have heard of, but they all have just a certain aspect that will help you up your game. Like even if just one of them helps, you can take your game to the next level.
Speaking who's up their game, that's you with all these wonderful PowerPoints you've been doing. I'd be excited to bring this out too. So don't think that I did this, folks. This is all Joel. So got to shout you out on that. So please keep commenting. Hi, Tracy from Dallas. Hi, Cezanne from Frederick. Nice to see everybody. Hello. Hey. And if you could give this a like or a love, obviously you can hear us and see us. So guess what's exciting about commenting? Every comment is entered in as a way to win our fabulous, there it is, dun, 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 our travel savings card. Hold it up again now that we're on the big screen.
Oh, there we go.
Awesome. Joel, what can we do? What can folks do with this travel savings card?
So we literally just used this last week. You can, anytime you don't find prices you like, you can go and, this is applicable towards millions of hotels, car rental agencies, excursions, anything you like. So staycations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Andy cracks me up. He's like, I've had those, but I haven't used them yet. So we're hoping that he
we'll forget about them.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Hi from Denver, just down from the street. Thank you, Joel Dixon. Nice to see you. Brand new newbie here from Plano. Good to see you. I love Plano, by the way. I did a promo for them a couple years ago, and they were fabulous. Hudson Valley. Let's see. Jared's saying he had a ton of problems when he had that travel card. So we will talk to you about that. Absolutely. Boy, all these good comments.
We actually put a video together. So message Brooke or message the email that you got it from.
Yeah.
And we've put a whole series of emails to make sure that you make the most of those cards.
Awesome. See, that's how we roll here at JGOOT. We're not messing around. JGOOT, by the way, stands for Just Get Out of Town, and that's what we're encouraging you to do. We have a lot of people here today. Hi, Monica.
Hey, Monica. She's a new lounger.
So is she new? Slobodonka? Yay. Good to see everybody. Excellent. New York, SoCal, St. Louis. I was just in New York, Raleigh. So exciting. So again, all of your comments count as an entry into this. And towards the end of the show, then we're going to pull a random number and we're going to pick one of those comments and then we'll let you know. So yay. All right. Are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me do a little bit more housekeeping. If you want your name and your picture to show up, you can go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give it some love and give it a little okay to use your name. It won't do anything else, I promise you. And that way we can see, just like Amy here, who has this great picture.
Yeah, I had to throw Amy out. Amy, we're having an impromptu Denver gathering.
Yes.
Which is so exciting. Like we're going to put a local, just some locals we're going to get together. There was a good show that one of our experts is putting on, and a bunch of us were going to get together. And then Mira, who is like our member turned expert celebrity, said she's coming out because she needs the miles. And then all of a sudden we've got like 6 or 8 people, including Amy, hopefully, coming out. We're going to have like a little impromptu get together.
That's awesome. Mira's like our club mascot of everything. And it's funny, I had to fly to New York to possibly get some help from Mira because I almost got stuck there with Henri, who is Henri. And right. And so now she's going to fly out here. So I'll get to see her that. So Jared says they have a work order. Oh, good. She will listen. So you all, Brooke is behind the scenes here, moving all the levers and bells and whistles. So she will definitely be helping out. And Slobodonka will be here in spirit. Thank you so much. Oh, look at this. Naja. Let's give her a shout out. She's from LA. She's about to travel the world for 12 months. Wow.
Those pictures.
Yes. Keep us posted on that. Keep tagging maybe hashtag JGOOT on that so we know where you're going. Tell us some of the places you're going to in the comments because one, we're entertained easily and we love travel stuff. And two, that it counts as you being part of the travel card. So
right.
Excellent. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Got you.
Cool. All right. So 10 unknown features or sites that, even if you do know about them, mastering them or knowing these little things can help a lot. And notice that we've even got loungers that are watching this stuff because, every little bit helps, Ooh,
Mira. Sorry. We had to pull this up of Naja.
Geez.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm coming back to that list. That's amazing. Yay. Yes. So Mira, you were saying, go ahead.
And Mira is prime example. Like she doesn't miss events. She's attended our live streams, our office hours while on vacation multiple times because she just keeps accumulating knowledge that increases her game. And that's kind of the goal here on our free Mondays as well. So let's jump in with some free stuff that people can apply to up their own personal travel games.
Awesome.
So as you know, we always talk about rule 1 and rule 2, but today we're going to talk about 5 sites outside of our own, publicly available, free or ridiculously cheap that you can use to apply to rule 1 and rule 2. So as a refresher, rule 1 is that we look for exceptional deals every day and we go where those deals are. I know a lot of people say, I don't have the time to do that, but I can tell you it takes less time to do that than to look 2 or 3 times a year when you get a hankering to take a trip and then waste hours trying to find something reasonable. So that's the philosophy. That's the JGOOT way. If it works for you, it works very well. If it doesn't, that's cool too. Maybe some of these other tips will help. Rule 2 is always have a stash of points for when you can't find exceptional deals. So between the two, it's impossible to fail. It's literally impossible not to save 50, 70, 90% on average on all of your travels. And today we're not talking about our site. We're talking about 10 other sites that you can use to apply these 2 rules.
Nice. And, with that, I know a lot of times people see this and go, oh my gosh, I don't have points right away. But we know a lot of the folks that are in the lounge and that have been in the group have gotten to this status of having the points fairly quickly. It's encouraging to see. So we're not talking 2 years out here, people.
Yeah. Well, and there's a reason our coaching program is 12 weeks. I mean, the goal is to have you in a position where you can have enough points to fly anywhere you want in the world for free. But again, not about us today, about other sites, sometimes even competitors. So speaking of Scott's Cheap Flights, scottscheapflights.com. It's an independent website. They publish not a daily email, but 1 or 2 emails a week with travel deals, and they do this for free. The whole idea, we used to have a similar model, but the whole idea is that you get a taste for what they find, and you can pay, and it's a ridiculously cheap amount. It's like $50 a year, and they have an upgrade option if you want business class, and that will get you 5 to 10 great deals a year. And again, this fits perfectly. A week. So 5 to 10 great deals, and they just tell you about where they are. And then you just go and you search Google yourself, or you search Kayak, or you search wherever they tell you they found the deal, and you book it yourself. No agent commissions. Just like our philosophy, they're 50, 70, 90, 95% off deals. And so this fits very well with rule 1 of the JGOOT way of travel. So those are the pros. The cons, they only do international deals. So, if you want to pick up and go and visit friends in Arizona or Orlando or whatever, they don't accommodate that. They just do international deals. They're regional based. And by that, I mean, it's mostly kind of with the time zones. So they have a Western region. And so it might say Costa Rica, $300 round trip, but that's out of LA. So if you're in Denver or Portland or anywhere in that Western region, well, then, you got to work a little harder and it will be a bit more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But again, fits very well with that Rule 1 philosophy. Our philosophy is very much the same, where we give you a vein of silver to follow, and you follow it, and you find something that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Great service, and for the dollar, fantastic deal. I mean, if you saved on a trip once every few years, it's well worth the fee to their service.
Gotcha.
And like I said, fits perfectly with everything we teach.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good.
It's international. And this is really helpful because I know I've seen this question in the group before and I've been asked about it as well. So I don't know if you saw my comment that I'm going to learn something. I love being the co-host. So I'm like sitting in the front row of learning this. And this is helpful to know. Jared is saying that international deal seems to be what he's really working for. So that works great. So yay. There you go.
Okay. So yeah, it is only Rule 1. They don't really mess with points stuff, or that's not their area of expertise, which I respect. They do one thing and they do it well, and that's great.
Cool. Cezanne says the same thing.
So the biggest downside is kind of like what we suffered when we had a service similar to this, is that you do have to search for the deals yourself. So they've got lots and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and those deals disappear quickly, so you have to be on top of it.
Yeah.
Another service also in a similar vein, next Vacay. It's actually cheaper, I believe. Don't quote me. I didn't have time to look this up, but last I checked, it was $25 a year.
Gotcha. Hey, let me throw this in here. Sorry to interrupt, but Joe's saying that they do have domestic flights, so we will check that out, Joe. Okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great service. I subscribed to it myself. And when I was subscribed, they didn't do domestic, but or they probably added that when COVID came in, because that's where a lot of people still had to travel if they wanted to. So thank you for clarifying, Joe. Next, Vacay, also a very similar service. They hit a little closer to home in that they have a lot of airports, so you can select an individual airport. So unlike Scott's, where it's region based and it's kind of like close enough, and then you have to get yourself to that airport, where you have to expect to pay more. Next Vacay will send you alerts out of your home airport. The cons, they don't have a free version. They do have a money back guarantee. And it's $25. I mean, it's you're not really out much if it doesn't work for you. Pretty sure that one. I mean, any other subscribers, feel free to clarify, but I'm pretty sure they are international only.
Gotcha.
Again, 5 to 10 deals out of your home airport per week. And then same thing, they tell you about where you can find them. You go find them. You keep the savings for yourself instead of paying, a commission to a travel agent.
Perfect.
So
it only helps with rule number 1. So
yep. So again, it's and most of the services are going to be that way. We're kind of unique with our philosophy on that organic relationship between cash deals and points deals, and we can talk about that later. But let's see. Next, Google Flights. We've talked about this before. Anytime we've mentioned it, we didn't get to spend a whole lot of time on it. So I thought I'd just show a few specific examples. So Google Flights, people are probably going, yeah, everyone knows about Google Flights.
Right.
What
but
they
not
don't
this way.
know about is the Anywhere feature that really only happens by not doing something. And so it's kind of counterintuitive. And it's their Anywhere feature. So basically all you do is leave the destination blank and let them tell you where the good deals are. So again, this fits very, very well with Rule 1 of the JGOOT way, because our philosophy is go where the deals are. If you just wait until you're ready to plan a trip, that's going to be an expensive trip, just because of the way the math works.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just say, hey, I've got this certain weekend free, where can I go? You will, by definition, spend a lot less than if you say, I've got this weekend free, let's go to Phoenix, or let's go to Orlando, or whatever. I mean, the odds of you picking a destination that happens to be 80 or 90% off on the weekend that you are going, I mean, you got better odds buying a lottery ticket. So, but this way, you've got 100% odds, because you just look and you look every day and you go where the deals are. So I say it's great for picky shoppers because you can select specific dates and just say, where are the deals? It's also great for, that's, for picky in the sense of timeline. It's also great because if you insist on flying business class, you can check a box that says only show me business class. If you refuse to take layovers, you can check a box that eliminates layovers.
Right.
So it's a really, really handy tool, but the magic happens by leaving that destination blank. So I'm here in Denver. They say, where to? I say, you tell me. You pick the dates that you want to go. And they show you a map that looks a little like this. So here are 8 or 9 destinations that I can go over a week. I made this over a weekend, and I can just take a quick trip for under $100.
That is so much more mind-opening. Sorry, to look at that when you see that than just going, I'm only going here. But then your mind starts to wonder a little bit. So I dig this. This visually. That's how my brain works best.
in so many ways, like it's. Because, who you might just think like, oh, well, you would never think of going to Minneapolis. But if your best friend from college lives there and you got a free weekend, you can fly them out. You can fly and visit them. And it triggers ideas that you weren't even thinking of. And I call this travel through osmosis. You just can't help but travel more.
Perfectly said, by the way. Cezanne wanted to know if these prices are round trip or one way.
So these are round trip prices.
Dang. I was going to ask the same thing. So
oh man, wait until we get to 2 from now.
Okay.
So remember, we picked a long weekend. I think I left on a Friday and came, I don't know what day they are, but I picked a long, I'm sorry. This was a week long, Wednesday to Wednesday. But I mean, you can pick your exact dates, which by definition will make things more expensive. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Here's an example of, you could take a longer trip, and here are, again, 5 places under $300 in the Caribbean or Mexico that you can go for, again, under $300. Now here's the thing too. If you don't like these prices, check again tomorrow because they will be different and they will be to other places.
Yeah.
So the magic isn't so much any of these tools. The magic really happens from that consistency of looking every day. I mean, that's where the real power is. And if you just take 2 minutes and look every day, and once every quarter, find a place that strikes your fancy, that fits your calendar, you can't help but travel more and spend less and spend the rest on whatever you want. So that's Google Flights. Of the 3 search engines that I'm going to show you, this is actually the most expensive.
Can I stop real quick? Because we have such interactive folks with us today. So they are saying that, Scotts, you can now choose your home airport, but they seem to be the larger hubs, Denver, Denver, but not Colorado Springs. So it does seem like that is an availability as well now. So, but just not the smaller ones. So thanks. Listen to our fun folks out there. They're getting into, they're looking while you're talking. I love that.
And I will admit, I unsubscribed to them, not because I didn't need the service, but it was a bit of a conflict of interest. I didn't want anything they sent us to influence anything we were sending to our subscribers, because there is very little crossover. And it was just a personal choice. I just didn't bother renewing. But I think since unsubscribing, I'm sure a lot of changes have happened that I haven't been on top of. Either way, I don't view them as a competitor. I view them as an ally.
Yeah.
And they're great service.
This. Yeah. And all these today, which I really do appreciate that you're giving all these different alternatives, because as you see, even from the comments, somebody will say that works great for me. I'm only interested in international. So I think there's something for everybody here. One other quick question. Wanted to know if you could do, Eileen, thank you. Google Flights will work with open dates or long stays. So just clarify that real quick.
Yeah, and you could do anything. shameless plug for our coaching program. We dive deeper into every single one of these resources and more inside. And most of them are 30 to 60 minute tutorials that you can just search when you need them. Gotcha. So, I mean, it would take us forever to do that in a free group with thousands of people asking questions. But yes, you can change to one way. You can change to OpenJaw. You can change however you like. It's just like any other search engine, except they just show you a 50,000 foot view instead of like narrowed in on the one place you want to go.
And that's a good lead into the fact that we do have all these video in our guide section of this free group. Yeah. There's a ton of stuff. So if you really want to learn, if you want to learn a lot of the different nuances, we have a video. We have a video for that. We have an app for that, as they like to say. Can I read this real quick? And then we're going to move on. I feel like I'm watching 42nd Street with Natalie Wood. If I'm right with that movie, we're Santa Claus sends everybody to the department stores, but everybody ends up coming back to the store to purchase for Santa, where Santa Claus works. You guys have been so great. Very honest establishment. Thank you for that. I don't know who you are, but we want to give you a shout out for that. So we appreciate that, because that's the goal too. So thank you. All right. Next up, you said this one is going to be the most expensive. Is that right? Yeah.
So I think we're on number 3 of 5 Rule 1 tools that you can use. So the next one, I've mentioned this before, but Airfare Watchdog. No need to do a demo. Really straightforward. Like just knowing this resource, this should be bookmarked. This is great for people who really have their eye on specific destinations, whether that's a bucket list destination or you're a grandparent and you've got grandkids all over the country. You should set up an alert for each of those destinations and just watch. And every day they'll send you the best travel deal that they found to those destinations. Now, why is this better than Google Flights? Because you have the date flexibility feature. So that Google Anywhere feature is great when you need to pick specific dates. Airfare Watchdog is great when you want to go to specific places, but can be flexible on your dates. So as long as you can be flexible on one or the other, like be flexible on where you're willing to go or when you're willing to go, then you can't help but save money and travel more and travel better and etc. So again, great for when you when you're watching specific places, and the more places you watch, the more often you'll stumble across deals. And again, it fits that travel through osmosis philosophy. Like you just, hey, look, I can go visit the grandkids for $39, or I can fly grandma and grandpa out so we can have a date night, or whatever.
And that's such a great idea of saying that for people who have family members. They may have somebody they want to visit often, or grandkids. Like, how cool of a grandparent are you going to be? If you figure out how to get the grandkids out there, you go there. So I dig this.
I have a friend who said, your service is great, but it's not for me. I have 4 kids with the 5th on the way. We're not traveling for 21 more years. And I said, do you have family from out of town? Like, why don't you just watch fares to those destinations? And just by doing that, he has since sent his wife back to just have a retreat weekend with his sister. He watched the kids and he sent his wife home to hang out with her sister, or vice versa. They flew their family out because it was dirt cheap. They flew parents in from Omaha to watch the kids, and they went and had a date night for the first time in forever.
Right. Talk about trusted babysitters.
Yeah. And they don't have to know that it was cheaper to fly them out than to pay a babysitter. It can be. It could be cheaper to fly out of town relatives in than it can be to pay a babysitter.
Yeah.
I know. I've done it.
I know, because I've been there. That's awesome. Hey, can we go back on this one? I don't know if this is on Airfare Watchdog or Google, but on blackout dates. Can we talk about that really quickly? Do you think most of them show blackout dates?
Well, so all of these are showing the best fares. So I don't know that blackout dates really apply to any of them.
True.
Because
that's true.
They're telling you when you can find the best fares.
True.
Now, if it's Google Flights, I mean, if a blackout date is over Thanksgiving, but you search for Thanksgiving, they'll tell you what the prices are for those dates. So they might be a little more expensive over Thanksgiving weekend. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Blackout dates are kind of implied in, I think, pretty much everything I'm sharing.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the cons of Airfare Watchdog, you do have, like, if you watch 12 destinations, you get 12 emails a day. 9 of them will be mediocre or not that great of the deal. And you have to like manually look at each subject line to figure out what the deals are that day. So that's the downside. But again, if you're not watching, you're not finding those deals. And it takes far less time to look over 10 subject lines of an email than it does to like try to find a good deal the 2 or 3 times a year that you decide to go and look.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just very difficult. So, yeah. And everything else I think is the same. You do have to still go where the deals are. Why? Because we're talking about rule 1. That's how you save lots of money.
Yeah.
Okay. This next one is my absolute favorite.
Okay.
It saves absolutely the most, and we'll tell you why. So Kayak, they have a hidden feature called Explore. Kayak Explore. You can search for it. I think it's just like an icon on the left, or you can go to kayak.com/explore. And this is a complete game changer. There's no excuse for saying, I wish I traveled more once you know about this resource. So it's better prices than both of the resources I just shared, Google or Airfare Watchdog. And the big reason is because you have to be flexible on both when and where you go. So this, unlike Google Flights, you just enter your home airport. You don't enter dates. You don't enter destinations. You just say, I live in Denver. Show me what you got. And so notice how we looked at a map before and it had like 10 or 12 places you could go that were under $100. This is everywhere I could go by using this feature. I grabbed this screenshot yesterday.
Wow.
This is everywhere I could go for under $100. I can go to Minneapolis for $40.
Again, these are round trip, right?
Correct. Round trip. I could go to Miami for $39. That one cut off. I apologize. Look it up. I'm sure you can find it. Houston, $36. That brings memories back. If you guys go to the guides section of the Facebook Village, this was like my big aha moment that changed how I traveled. I was going through a divorce. I stumbled across Kayak Explore. I found this deal. And I think it was $29, but to get it to massage the dates to make it work with my kids' fall break, I paid $41 round trip. I spent more explaining our vacation to my divorce attorney than I spent on the trip. Literally.
I'm laughing with you on this one.
Yeah, I can laugh in hindsight too.
Yes,
and so can my ex-wife. But like my ex-wife's divorce attorney was like, he's hiding money. He can't be taking these vacations because we're watching every penny he spends. And I'm like, well, if you watched every penny I'd spend, you'd see that I spent $120 on flights and I spent $360 on an all-inclusive cruise. And I got to take my kids on a great vacation with just the 3 of us, even though every penny is being watched.
Right.
So we won't bore you anymore with that. You can see the story of how I went from bargain traveler to baller traveler in another video in the guides section.
And I love that though. That was do the math. I'm really traveling this cheap, but was a great way for you to jump into this. So Cezanne wanted to know if, we'll go back through these real quick. She just wanted to see the previous slides. She's taking notes, but then we'll also have this on replay as well. Yeah. So Kayak, you want the Explore feature. And then so you literally just enter your home airport. They tell you where. I mean, I've flown friends out from LA. I've gone to visit friends in LA because of fares just like that. This was $37. Crazy.
They're right there. And if you don't like them, again, check back the next day. I bet if we went to this screen right now, there would be entirely different prices to entirely different places. So, and it's just check every day until you find something you like.
Somebody says, love your sense of humor that even puts a plus to your company. I do too. we like to
have some fun.
We do. And then real quick on this particular map. So the dots are just this different airports, but these are where the best deals are for under $100. Is that right?
Actually, I had to zoom out. Those are kind of hit. I haven't figured out why they show up as dots, because half of them are still under $100 and half are over. But
okay.
I don't know. I mean, if I zoomed in more, I could have shown more, but I wouldn't get to show the whole country. So
I can guarantee that most of us on here, even me after this, just for giggles, are going to go and do this. So thank you for getting our sense of wonder back, for sure.
And again, before we show the even cooler stuff with this, the secret here, again, I'm like, you have to look every day. Like, so many people, like, I see lots of questions already. Like, are there blackout dates? Do you get to choose this? Like, the key here is two things. One, go every day, look every day. And if you don't see something, don't worry, because you're going to look again the next day until you find something. And if you did that and only found something once a quarter, would that mean that you travel more often and spend less?
And I want to, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead on this one. Can you use airline miles to purchase these tickets? No, this is rule number one. And these are so cheap that you wouldn't want to use airline miles for it. So we'll talk about ones that you'll want to use airline miles for. But good question. Thank you. It's all about changing your mindset on how you buy these, because this would not be worth your money of how much your airline miles could really, really buy you. Right, Joel?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Let's pull that question up real quick. I do want to just give a quick anecdote. You know me.
Thank you for that.
There's a blog post out there somewhere. I've written hundreds of blog posts that kind of try to put this in perspective. And I always like to say, like, think of it like a certificate for a free pair of shoes. Now, those of you who know shoes are going to know where I'm going. So a free pair of shoes at, I don't know, Nordstrom's. And Nordstrom's has Gucci's for $1,000. You weren't looking for Gucci's, but they have Gucci's for $1,000. And it says free pair of shoes. Even though you needed a new pair of running shoes, are you going to redeem that valuable certificate for $100 pair of Nikes?
Preach that good word to me.
That's the equivalent of using points versus paying cash. Like, every single one of these deals, you would be crazy to waste points, because you're wasting $500 to $5,000 worth of points for a flight that you can pay $40 or $50 for.
Exactly.
Points can fluctuate in value when you learn how to manipulate them. Dollars can't.
Exactly.
You know? So like, the beauty of this, especially kayak, you don't even have to do the math. Don't waste your points. I don't care if you have 1 million points. Don't waste your points on flights like this. I mean, that's the beauty of rule 1, rule 2. You find rule 1 worthy deals, no math involved, pay cash, because it's a screaming deal. Speaking of screaming deals, remember our Mexico place? What did I count? 5 places in the Caribbean and Mexico. I couldn't show the Caribbean and Mexico. These are all places that are under $300 round trip.
I want to go.
And they're this price because you go when those deals are.
Yep.
So you can go to Cabo for $170. You can go to Mexico City for $165. You can go to Cabo was $195. Cancun, $171. And, you know, these all have various dates that you can go. You can you can always play with the dates and usually find something that's close enough. And I also like to say it's a lot easier to ask your boss for an extra day off because you found $150 flights to Cabo than it is to ask the airlines to drop the $700 price to match the vacation dates that you have off. Do you want to fight and swim upstream, or do you want to float downstream?
Absolutely. And here's a good, Joe is saying this, and I'm not sure this is, thanks for talking about that. We're going to talk about this program here in a second, real briefly, but I appreciate you're appreciating it. One piece of advice would be to check hotel rates at these locations. That can be a bit of a surprise as well. And that reminds me, I actually booked through a Just Get Out of Town cool flight notice that I got to go to Cancun. So then I decided that Isla Mujeres is a short little jaunt over there, and I'm in love with that little island. So for me, rather than going for the really expensive ones, I'm just going to go cool my heels in Isla.
Yeah.
So I thought about that as well.
It's a big part of the equation. With our Trip Alert service, which Well, we'll get into that.
Yep. And we have some really good questions too. Molly, I see your question about expanding on wasting miles. We have a whole video on that, but we can post a link to that too, because there's some math to it sometimes, but once you get it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and that is one, if not two courses inside our program.
Yes.
I mean, it's easy once you get it, but there are a lot of different ways to apply it. And that's what we talk about. So one last example, I mean, we could do this to Europe, we could do this to Asia, we could do this to Africa, but I'm just sticking to the easy stuff because that's where, I mean, you can travel to almost all of these places now too. Other countries are, a little more complicated. Yeah. But yeah, $87 to Puerto Rico. Come on. Man. This is like, for the people out there who are saying, I wish I traveled more, most of them are assuming that's because they have to pay $500 just to fly to Puerto Rico.
They really do.
But you can legitimately fly. You can fly to $190 to Cartagena. That's like a beautiful fishing town in Colombia.
Yeah.
$160 to Costa Rica. We're actually talking about this next week. I'm sorry, tomorrow. We're comparing. I went to Costa Rica on points. 2 weeks later, one of our experts, Tom Spears, went on cash. And we're both comparing how we booked it exactly. We're calling it our blueprint series. And we're handing our clients a blueprint of exactly how we booked the trip. I don't know his numbers. He's putting them together. But I took a $12,000 first class vacation for 4 of us for $1,500 total. And we're like in our, that's what we do once a week. We do a blueprint of a trip that one of us has taken, or we explain the math with points.
And that helps.
Etc.
That helps a lot. Look at Katie. Our Puerto Rico flights were $450 for 5 people, $90 each. Man, awesome trip. That is so cool, Katie.
Katie is awesome. Katie, I think I heard we're going to get to meet you in Denver too. She lives in Dallas. She's coming out this weekend.
That is so cool. So yeah, we are having a little get together. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I love it. All right. So back to key success with rule number 1.
As a summary of all of these services, all 5 of the ones that I pointed out, you have to look every day. You should subscribe to Scott's. You should subscribe to Next Vacay, largely because our service, we provide more trips than that, but we charge a lot more because it's bundled with our coaching program. But for $50 or $75 a year, it's a no-brainer. And and again, you by just opening their email when they come to you, if one of those deals hits every couple of years, you will save tenfold that investment.
Yeah.
Then you'll probably take a trip to a cool place that you weren't even thinking about. So look every day. There's no secret in this. That's what we do. I have 10 analysts who look at maps like that every day, and they report 3 to 5 deals a day to our clients. That's amazing. And there's no magic in it. It's, you got to roll up your sleeves. You got to do the work. And that's what we do to walk the walk, to show you the power in just doing that one thing. So pick any of those 5 resources, go do it yourself. You don't need our coaching program. You will travel more through osmosis.
Gotcha.
And then of course, just some obvious stuff. The more flexible you are, the less you spend on flights, the less you spend on hotels, the more you can spend on other stuff.
And I like this too, the idea of that, just think of places that you would not have gone normally. Again, looking at that map, that really, it really does open up your mind on that. Somebody had a suggestion in here too of looking at these on your desktop as well.
Yes,
which I think
great
is
suggestion.
Interesting. Yeah, here we go. Who was this that said it? Thanks, Scott. Recommend. And he liked the other tip about the hotels too, or about paying rather than miles. Recommend using most of these tools, especially Kayak, on the desktop, possibly on the iPad, but much easier on desktop or laptop. Thank you for that. Everybody needs to remember that a lot of these functions and features and apps work differently on your desktop than your phone.
Scott is also one of our newer lounge members, and he is a student, sit in front of the class, take notes. He's challenged me on a couple things and said, hey, wait, the math here, can you explain that or whatever? So, and we love that because it's all serious avid travelers inside JGOOT Lounge that are looking to just get everything we can so that we can fill our bucket lists as fast as we can, spending as little as we can.
Yep, we appreciate that. But then we all learn from it too. So we all get a big group mind together, which I like. All right, so let's talk about JGOOT Lounge real quick.
So yeah, in regards to rule number 1, we do this. This is part of our service. We include our trip alert service, which gives 3 to 5 deals a day, a couple domestics, and we try to include at least 3 international deals. And I'm talking like a couple $100 to Europe, or $200 to $400 round trip to Europe, $400 to $600 round trip to Asia. We've shared as little as $9 flights in the domestic U.S. And again, so we do that to just make it easy for you to adapt to that. And we also look up business first class fares. That's one of my gripes about Kayak. You don't get to do that. You have to like dig and look up first class prices, business class prices, lodging. So someone mentioned earlier, be sure to look up lodging prices. We look that up. So when you see that it's $171 to fly to Cancun, we say $171 for the flight alone, or $230 for flight plus 6 nights. So we just look that up so that you can kind of pick and choose what works best for you.
Yep.
So now let's move on to rule 2.
Real quick, speaking of points, can you earn frequent flyer miles on these? That was asked several times. So sorry we didn't get to that before, but on those cheaper ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They may be cheaper, but you're still earning the mileage. Is that correct? I mean, or does it depend on the airline?
So we usually recommend, and I think Scott's does too. And so probably, I don't know next Vacay well enough, but all of us recommend whenever you can go directly to the airline so that A, you earn the miles, B, and you earn them anyway, even if you book through Expedia or Kayak or whatever, but you earn the miles. And more importantly, it's a lot less of a hassle if the flight gets canceled or changed.
Yes, I was just going to say that. The third-party apps, as great as it can be, those are 2 really crucial points of, especially, I think somebody asked before earlier about what to do if it cancels. And somebody else popped in and said what you just said, which is please try to go directly. Trust me, after having to change and get out early from New York yesterday on Delta, I did lose some points because I had booked and added in that first class upgrade, but I still got out without paying anything extra. And I'm still going to call Delta back and see if I can shake some trees. So there you go. That's an excellent way to end this. All right, rule 2. We're already at 45 minutes past the hour.
We thought this was going to be quick.
You did.
That's the problem with lots of 18,000 member group with lots of questions, and this is why we have a private coaching group with
we do
handfuls of members. So another little shameless plug for JGOOT Lounge.
Yes.
So rule number 2, a lot of people are probably going, yeah, but I have to travel at a specific time. Yeah, but we go to a lot of family reunions. Yeah, but I have a big family and I go to a lot of weddings. Well, that's what rule number 2 is. Because odds are when you take those kinds of trips, I would say 4 out of 5 times, it ain't going to be a good deal. 1 out of 5 times, it will be a good deal. So what do? You hurry up and pay cash and snatch up the good deal before it disappears. We did that 2 weeks ago when we had to go out of town for a funeral. I was expecting to have to use points. Flights were as cheap as $44. We splurged and spent like $110 to go at a more convenient time. That's not even worth wasting energy on thinking about points. 4 out of 5 times that won't happen. Flights will be $400 or $500. You're going to be grumpy about it. That's where points are beautiful, because you just use points and you go for free, or you pay like $11 in taxes. So these next 5 sites are sites other than ours that you can use to learn more about rule number 2, which is earning and redeeming points efficiently. So the points guy. A lot of you guys have heard of this guy. This is where I did most of my learning about getting efficient with point hacking. I thought I knew a lot. And I owned a real estate business. I had a 70-person real estate company. I spent 7 figures a year in advertising, and I thought I was fancy because I had a Frontier card that earned 2 points per dollar.
We love saying fancy, by the way. I would have thought so too, but were you wrong?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it still hurts to say that out loud.
I know. I can see it for your face.
Oh, I might cry. Give me a minute.
Give him a second.
So yeah, and then I learned, I started reading the points guy. I started following some other resources that I'll give you. And slowly and surely, I learned to get a lot more efficient. So even though I had, I earned like 1.5, if not 2 million points on Frontier. And I took lots of fun trips, like I flew, I had my real estate company. I had programmers, full-time programmers. One time I flew the three of us to Alaska for the weekend, completely free on points. But I had to spend boatloads of money to earn those points. If I knew what I knew now back then, I would still have points left over.
Right.
Because there are two different things that you'll slowly learn if you just same thing. Go and read the points guy every day. Read something that interests you. You will learn more about points through osmosis by just reading their stuff. And you'll slowly learn to get, to earn more than a penny per dollar spent. You'll slowly learn the more important lesson of redeeming for more than a penny per point. And when you compound those two together, I mean, it's just insane. I've taken my personal record is a $50,000 vacation on points, and we spent $3,000 total. And I could have spent a half of that. Sure. But that was just through slowly learning how to use and manipulate and redeem points. So the points guy, great resource. Lots of great information. The cons are that you get lots of great information, and it can cause to information overload. I got information overload for years. And then when I finally just jumped in, it was like, oh man, that was easier than I thought.
It made sense. Yeah.
Just start reading their stuff. This is real. You could fly the entire world for free if you wanted. That's not what we teach. We kind of have a healthier balance, but you could. And the points guy would be a great resource to teach you how. The other con is they have 12 million followers. One of our members found a little sweet spot at the Aliyah Resort in Napa Valley.
Oh, I saw that.
It was like $1,000 place that he booked for. So he did it with cash because it was like $150. But then the real sweet spot is you could do it on points and do it for free. So $1,000 a night place for free, and you could do it on points. Guess what? The points guy published that to his 12 million followers. Those deals are gone.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the downsides. But again, a great resource that can easily get your feet wet on the point hacking game. Such
a great reminder. You're right. If I'm reading it, 12 million other people are reading it, or even a small percentage of 12 million is still, the deal is gone quickly.
Now, this other one, I love the points guy. I've learned a ton from them. But here's one thing to keep in mind with any travel blog out there that is talking about the value of points. They're all on commission. They earn what's called an affiliate commission, and every time you sign up for one of the cards they recommend, they get a commission. And if you read all of their subject lines, every single card that they recommend is like the latest, greatest card since sliced bread. You need to run out and get this card right now, and that's because that's how they get paid. And it gets very hard to tell between which is like a ridiculously valuable card that can earn you $5,000 to $25,000 in travel benefit, and which is worth no more than $1,000. Now, is $1,000 a great deal? Sure, but not compared to $5,000 to $25,000. Totally. And that there's literally that much difference between the extremely good cards and the 90% that are just mediocre cards.
So Joel, you'll see I popped in our banner on this too. Talk about that real quick. And we have videos on this too that we've done, including a video about if your credit isn't great, about what cards to get and how to improve your credit. So so these are our recommended cards.
How to improve your credit, by the way, is in the guides section of JGOOT Village. It's in section 5.
Yes.
And this resource, hey, if you can throw us a bone and use one of those links, those are all cards that our experts use. So we're not on commission, but we do pass along the referral points to our experts because they are very helpful. Several of them have been contributing here in the village. They contribute 10 times as much in the lounge. And one of the ways we say thank you is to pass those referral points onto them. Why? Because they can do a lot more with referral points than they can with dollars anyway. So it's a win-win.
Exactly.
So yeah, if if you do decide to get a new card, those are ones that our experts use. Probably a pretty good indicator of the ones that are really valuable. So that's one of 5. We've got like 10 more minutes before we exceed an hour. So let's power through.
I can go a little bit longer though for folks. We have a good audience in here, but we're gonna power through it for you folks.
Let's see. Award Travel 101. This is this is a Facebook group. It's free. Same thing. They're compensated entirely from income from affiliate commissions from credit cards that they recommend. So very much like the Points Guy. Very much like the Points Guy, it's a wealth of great information. They've got extremely knowledgeable moderators. In fact, Richard Kerr, who was the original founder, was one of my mentors in the early days and helped straighten me out from a lot of the bad habits that I had on point hacking. Wow. He's since been recruited away, and Joseph Petrovic took over, who is also very knowledgeable. They have a little bit different styles, but very, very knowledgeable in the point hacking game. So those are the pros. Jump in, just read those posts. Same cons, lots of information overload because you've got 80,000 members. Everyone has different opinions, and they all proudly boast whatever their favorite card is, whether it's a average, below value, mediocre card, or a great one. And that's the hard thing. It gets very hard to discern between the good advice and the advice from people who don't know any better. Remember, I was one of those people who didn't know any better for like a decade. And we don't know until we learn better.
We don't. And then that's the tough thing too. This makes people think that they have to get a bunch of cards.
No.
And that is not true. And you'll see that in our, go to the guide section again and look that up. Just don't, that's one of the first things we try and dispel is, no, you don't need to. I mean, because then that's encouraging people to really kind of wreck their credit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my rant.
Yeah, it gets easy to get really sloppy in this game, and we would rather have just a good, solid core foundation of cards that can work for you, that can work 3 to 5 times as hard for you, versus, I mean, the Points Guy just put out an article like a couple weeks ago about the hundreds of cards that he has and the 22 that are active in his wallet. Are you kidding me? I haven't had 22 cards in my life.
Jesus. That'd be like the George Costanza wallet. Remember the real big one and his back hurt him because his wallet was so big? That's what that would look like.
Yeah. And I mean, again, that's great. If you want to do that, that's great. We're not the company for you. We do not endorse juggling lots of credit cards. But if you want to learn a little bit about it, these are great resources, both Award Travel and Points Guy. Another one, this is a web app, Card Pointers. So if you have several cards in your wallet and your head kind of spins with like, well, which one do I use for what? Card Pointers is a great app. Now they have a free version, but their paid version is like $30 a year. Fantastic deal. And basically you can enter what cards you have. They will tell you which one you should spend at your grocery store, which one you should fill up on gas, which one you should use for whatever. And those are all things that, again, complement what we teach as a part of rule number 2 very, very well. Because in our coaching program, we have 4 sections, but 3, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. Intermediate deals entirely with what we call earning multipliers. And that's how you just earn points 3 to 5 times as fast, which means you earn free trips 3 to 5 times as fast.
Which is the difference in how you were doing that before when you said you got all these miles, but you spent so much money to get them. And that's the big key difference. Those earning multipliers might make your head pop off, your eyeballs bulge out a little bit, but it's worth it to learn about it. So, but you don't get that with Card Pointers, that redemption advice.
Right. So this is strictly focusing on the earning multipliers. To my knowledge, this is, it's a fantastic app. I can say I don't spend as much time with it as many other people might because I don't carry a lot of credit cards. So I don't really need to keep track.
Sure.
But if keeping track of all of that is overwhelming for you, it's a great resource.
Okay.
And I'm personally talking with the founder. We're going to try to rope him in for a demo to make sure that you use it as much as possible.
Ooh, that would be cool. I saw somebody you comment that earlier. And look at Stan Amir is here giving advice. She joined in. Thank you. She's talking to John about the tickets. So this is what I love about this group is we have our experts and our group members helping each other out.
Yeah, I get to meet Stanimira this weekend.
Me too.
I flying out to Denver.
Flew all the way out to New York and had a bunch going on, but now I get to see her in Denver. Yeah. Yay! I'm in. All right. What
okay, I think this is this is the second to last one. Okay. Award mapper. Yep. This is a writer downer. Mm-hmm. So if you have points, so this is once you accumulate those points and you want to stretch them as far as possible, this is one of those earning or redemption multipliers, which are more powerful than earning multipliers. Mm. I've literally stayed at hotels that like in the same country, and like one company was 71,000 points for a night. Another company was 5.
So, and when we say that that's the difference between how you earn it and how you spend it, the earning multipliers versus, I mean, it's the redemption. Wow. That's a crazy difference though.
So think about that. Like a lot of people who are jaded on points altogether, they probably signed up for 100,000 point bonus. They didn't know any better. And they went and redeemed them for 71,000 and they were in a crappy hotel. And then they're like, well, that was a huge waste of time. And they never look back again. Yeah. Whereas by just knowing you could get those same 100,000 sign up bonus from many of the cards at jgoot.com/cards, shameless plug. You could get 100,000 points and then learn how to learn redemption multipliers and redeem them for 5,000 points and get just the same, if not a better hotel room. Points can be redeemed for that much different in value. And that's where the real money is knowing where to redeem them, knowing the value of those points, knowing when not to redeem them, that stretches them 10 to 20 times farther. So, and for as action-packed as this has been, these are all things that we spend an entire hour talking about, like each of these things inside the lounge. So if anyone is interested, type interested, and we'd be glad to have someone reach out, see if it's a fit. This is only for avid travelers who do actively travel, who do have a passport, who travel more than 3 or 4 times a year. But for those people, this is a no-brainer, and that's who we cater to, and we help them travel, a lot. They take their travel budget a lot farther than what they typically have been doing.
Oh, and that most of us have done throughout our lives. We have definitely a backwards way of looking at it at times, of thinking like that, like, oh, we just could never afford to go there. Yeah. And that's something we dispel.
So Award Mapper, you could find that out. You could enter, if you have 100,000 points or 200,000 points or 20,000 points, you know what you have. You go to Award Mapper, you type it in. They'll tell you where to stretch those points as far as possible at hotels. So this is specifically for hotels. The con, not always accurate, but hey, in the world of traveling for 10 cents on the dollar, that becomes common. It's not always that accurate, and that's part of the game. You're spending 10 cents on the dollar. Who cares? Every once in a while, you hit a den road, you try again. I mean, we all kind of get used to that, and it's worth it because we get to travel 10 times as often, or travel in luxuries that we would never spend real money on by just
that's me
being, like by just doing things a little differently.
And we do have in the lounge in the group, we have everybody, like there are luxury travels when people who don't want to spend a lot of money. And I love that because we address all of that too.
Yeah.
Go.
So I think this is resource 5 of 5 with rule 2.
Nice.
And that's Award Hacker. So we showed you how to stretch your points farther on hotels. You can stretch your points even farther with flights. And the same examples apply. Sometimes the wrong redemption could cost you 200, 300, 400,000 points. You could literally, like I've seen cases where the flight I took would have cost 800,000 points per person. And Award Hacker will show you how to book those same flights for a fraction of the cost. That 800,000 example, we booked for 50,000 points. We've got a case study on it inside the guide section of JGOOT Village, which is free. But this can be the difference between blowing hundreds of thousands of points and spending tens of thousands of points.
Yeah.
So yeah, those last two, Award Mapper, Award Hacker, those are redemption multipliers, which can be extremely powerful. Extremely powerful.
Very helpful. And it is getting to know, and we said this earlier in the show too, of the difference between just cash and then what points can do. So we really teach that a lot, and you get burned once or twice. We talked to like, don't go spending those points that you get on that that iPad,
right?
That you get tempted like here, and trading dollars for dollars. We don't want you to do that at all. So let's talk about JGOOT Lounge, and then Brooke, if you want to tell me how many comments we have, we're going to pull a random number and we're going to get out of here. 206, she says. Wow, I'm not surprised.
Popular webinar.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, so again, we focus on two and only two things: Rule 1 and all the nuances of that, Rule 2 and all the nuances of that. And between the two, it's just a deadly combination, and you can literally do anything you want. We don't have time to get into our bookshelf series, but that will show you how to use Rule 1 and Rule 2 to take like a $20,000 to $50,000 vacation every year on points for a couple $1,000s. And the key things with what we do, how we feel that we're different from pretty much all of the resources that we shared, we do not endorse lots of credit cards. In fact, we endorse as few credit cards as possible. Does that mean you might need 2 or 4, maybe even 5? Possibly. But we'll show you how to make that decision and make sure that that's working best for you and your travel lifestyle. Our big focus is giving yourself luxuries that you'd never use real money on. Our Costa Rica trip that I'm literally sharing a blueprint of tomorrow. I flew 4 of us in first class to Costa Rica. One of those 4 were a friend, because my son is off to college. He was gone all summer, so we let my daughter take a friend. Her parents were like, "Oh well, we can't do first class," and I said, "No, that's cool. It's on us. We got it."
Yeah. Cool parents.
Our entire vacation, our $12,000 first class vacation was $1,500. I wouldn't have.
And we talked $1,500 altogether.
I wouldn't have spent $12,000 on that vacation. It was $1,500 for 4 of us.
Jeebus.
Not each, total. So what is that?
Wow.
Yeah, that's like just shy of $400 each.
Totally. And we have a video from that too. Yeah.
$750 a night resort, had our own private elevator to our room.
That was cool.
I wouldn't have spent $12,000 on that trip, but it sure was nice to go on.
Well, and that's the thing too. Then you got to spend money on some excursions as well, because you save so much. So think of how great that is for local economies and for your family. You get to do things you just wouldn't think of at all. So, and we have a video of you all from that live too, from that vacation as well. All right, I'm going to choose a random number. We're going to get out of here because we're only 2 minutes over and jam pack this in. So, do you want to finish up with that slide?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So again, if you're interested in our coaching program, type interested. We do our best to make sure that it's a fit, that it's a no-brainer, that it'll pay for itself on the first trip or 2. I'm pretty proud that it's the only program of its kind. We don't endorse lots of credit cards. We teach a good, healthy balance. It's hands-on training. We tried blogging for years. It didn't work. We couldn't handle all of the questions that came in.
Right.
This way we can, because we have very few customers who we are there for every question that they have. And basically, please feel free to go and apply these resources, and with time and enough trial and error, and like each trip you take, you'll get a little bit better.
We do.
Feel free to do that and share those successes with us, and that's free of charge. If you want to fast track that and be in a position 12 weeks from now to where you can fly anywhere you want in the world, even in first class, for far less than what most people pay for a middle seating coach, that's what we do. Type interested, we can talk further about it.
I love about this too is that as we're sort of coming back into more travel, it feels like every day is a little bit of a move forward, go backward as far as when we can travel and what's going on out there. If I love the fast track piece of it, because now I was prepared when I was able to get out and travel. Just be ready to really immerse in it. So it's an investment in time in yourself. So I will say that, and I loved it. So yes, thank you, Jill. Learned so much in the lounge. Thinking about it, go for it. It'll be worth it. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Looking forward to meeting Jill this weekend too.
I know, exciting. This is gonna be super fun. Beth, thank you. The weekly webinars, you'll just see links in the videos and in the guides, and you'll see each of those. But we just, it's here every week. Sometimes we change it up, but if you're on the email, list, then you'll get a notice of that as well. With that being said, our lucky comment winner is number 173. So we're going to go back and count through all these and then we'll announce on here who the winner of the $100 travel savings card is here in the JGOOT Village. So that was it. That was fun. Woo!
Yeah. Woo, action packed.
That was a lot. It was. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.